we bend over backwards for our wives, feel a little bit empty inside, and see if we can spot any silver foxes with Death Becomes Her. I am obviously the Madeline of this group, with my demure behavior and crippling self-doubt. Scott's Helen with his list of revenge, and also because he's a dick. And Adam is Ernest of the bunch, constantly drunk and caught between the two older pieces of sexual history. Grab your man-slaves, pour a drink, and get ready for a real neck-breaker here, because it's horror movie night. We also have Scott's lovely wife Megan on with us this week, so now is a good time as any to apologize to her in advance. Come on, everybody. Sorry, Megan.
Sorry, Megan.
Sorry, Megan. Hears it from me daily. Yeah, Adam picked this one, and so you're Madeline, and I'm Helen. And does that mean Adam has been inside both of us?
Well, I mean, that's factual, right?
Yeah, it's a true science fact. So I picked this movie. Why did I pick this movie? I had literally only seen this movie once before, and that was on like TBS or something like that, and it was fucking awesome. And you know what? I watched it like 2 days ago. Still fucking awesome. Really fucking good movie.
So I had owned this movie for a while. I haven't watched it in a really long time, and my biggest memory of this movie is that for some reason my parents showed it to me when I was like 7, and it freaked me the fuck out. And now I'm watching it as an adult, and I'm like, why did my parents ever consider this movie acceptable for a 7-year-old to watch? Like, it's fucking horrifying.
I picture you at 7 years old, and Goldie Hawn is like sexual tension.
I don't even think I really, like, the things that I vividly remember from this movie is the shotgun hole in the chest, the head spinning around at the end, and I remember the thing that freaked me out the most was actually the charred up hand holding a bottle in the one, like, dream sequence. Like, really fucking scared me as a kid.
Not the, like, shovel shoving someone's head into their spine.
That one didn't bother me as a kid. Or at least
the CGI in this movie was so bad. It was so
bad. But at the time, it was great. At the time, it was amazing.
1992. Okay, 1992, Industrial Light and Magic, super badass for 1992.
It's a big deal, man. They got what did they win?
They won an Oscar.
Yeah.
No,
are you telling me that if you had watched this movie in 1992, you would have been like, oh yeah, that's realistic?
Yeah.
Oh, I totally bought it.
Right, Matt? How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I didn't sleep for a night or two, so I bought into it. So Meg kind of ended up on this episode because while she technically picked stage fright, she knows a whole lot more about Death Becomes Her, so it just felt like it was more appropriate to have her on for an episode of a movie she actually likes and has seen versus a movie that she just kind of picked on a whim.
Hey, by the way, Megan, let's talk about stage fright for a second. Why the fuck did I have to watch stage fright?
So Scott thought I would like it. So that was technically a Scott
We already
pick.
went over this.
No, I haven't heard it yet. So don't you dare yell at me. He was like, look, it's a musical. It'll be fun. You should love
And it is fun. She didn't watch it because we were running out of time last week before we were going to do Stage Fright. And I was like, do you want to watch Stage Fright or do you want to watch Death Becomes Her? Because she got way more excited when I mentioned that, Adam, you had picked Death Becomes Her. So she was like, oh, why am I not on that? Why can't I be on both? I was like, it doesn't really work that way, honey. And
oh, don't be so patronizing. Doesn't work that way,
listen,
honey.
Listen. No, the whole point is that both you guys were like, why isn't she on both? And I'm like, fuck, now I look like a douche. So it was typical day.
No, Scott, it doesn't work that way, honey. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Oh my God, you're such a fucking asshole.
Hey, Megan, Megan, there's something really important that I have to ask you, though, because I've been wanting to ask you this for a long time. Do you like Kurt Vonnegut?
He's about to ask if you read Kurt Vonnegut.
No! Shut the fuck up, all of you. And I'm gonna punch you in the face.
Okay, so let's actually talk about the movie. I'll save some of that stuff for the bumper.
I actually wrote notes for this movie. So we open up on Meryl Streep in her weird, shitty, narcissistic musical that she's starring in.
Yeah, it's Tennessee Williams.
Tennessee Williams play.
But Ernest and Helen are there. They're are they? I can't remember. Are they married or dating in that movie?
They're engaged.
They're engaged. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're at the play. Helen's nervous because she's got some history with her friend Madeline stealing the people that she loves.
I've got a tip for Helen. Maybe marry the guy first and then just never introduce him to Madeline. Maybe do that. Like, why is it so? Why does she put him through this weird test first?
Because you wouldn't have a movie otherwise, you dumbass.
Oh, go fuck yourself.
It'd just be a movie about two people happily married for 90 minutes and then credits.
It'd just be a movie about a happy couple who's totally married and everything is okay.
You're like, why is this called Death Becomes Her? That's a weird title for this. So Ernest ends up, fulfilling the prophecy and leaving Helen for Madeline. And Helen falls into a depression, gets super overweight, and gets slammed into an insane asylum.
Wait, so we need to talk about the fat Helen, because she's not even like hitting 250 in that fat suit. That's not even like Tess Holliday size. So that kind of broke my suspension of disbelief. But also, this is 1992, and I don't think fat people were as fat.
I don't know if that's accurate.
Considering how hot Goldie Hawn is, I would still have hit it. I would 100% still have hit it.
Even with like the frosting all over her mouth.
Dude, it makes it taste good.
She tastes like whipped cream.
That scene is
No,
so
those-
bizarre, though.
Oh,
I love how bizarre that scene is.
I love
Like,
these guys when she's like blinding and getting pulled away by the police. Like it's, I only like Goldie Hawn in this movie.
she's the only character you like, or this is the only movie that you've ever liked with Goldie Hawn?
Like,
Okay.
yeah. I don't really think Goldie Hawn is that funny in anything else I've seen, but man, she kills it in this movie.
So there's that weird scene where she's in the sane asylum, and they're trying to get her to open up, and as soon as she says Madeline, everyone starts losing their shit, which is just a pretty good scene.
Best part of the movie, yeah.
And then her psychiatrist.
Well, the doctor says you need to eliminate her from your life, and she takes that in a obviously very different way than the psychiatrist meant to say it.
That psychiatrist is a real bad actress, though.
Thankfully, she's only in it for that one scene, so we don't have to worry too much.
I would have forgotten about it if you hadn't brought it up right now. Thanks.
Yeah, sorry. So we jump to what's going on with Ernest and Madeline, which I love this name's Ernest because all I think of is Jim Varney every single time they say his name.
Because when I watch Bruce Willis in this movie, all I see is
Seymour Krelborn.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
He's
he is
doing his
playing
best Seymour Krelborn impression.
He's just Seymour Krelborn
It's great,
with an
though. I mean,
alcoholic
Bruce Willis-
problem.
Yeah. Bruce Willis is great in this movie too. I mean, really, this movie would not have worked if all three of them weren't really, really funny.
Or if it had been Kevin Kline, who it was supposed to be.
He might have been able to handle it.
Yeah.
Maybe, but I do want to point that out that Bruce Willis is actually fucking amazing in this movie. Like I hate every honestly think of a good other than Die Hard. Try and think of a good Bruce Willis movie.
Hudson Hawk.
This is really the sorry what?
Hudson Hawk.
Shut the fuck up! What are you talking about?
I love that movie.
So honestly, everybody is so on top of their game in this movie.
Adam,
Fifth Element.
Yeah, Fifth Element.
Oh my
motherfucker.
god. Yeah, when he was ordering Chinese. Yeah, absolutely. When he ordered Chinese food at the beginning of that movie. Oh wow, so top of his game. He was really amazing.
You do a better job next to Mila Jovovich.
Fuck you! I totally would. Next to Mila Jovovich, I'd probably just look at her tits the whole time.
But see, the thing is, with Bruce Willis, he's not exactly known for his comedic timing. But his he has a delivery of one line that literally made me laugh out loud as I was laying on the couch watching this movie. When Madeline first arises after falling down the steps, and she's like, "Something's wrong with me." He goes, "Yeah, your neck's real messed up too."
We're skipping a little bit of the plot though. We got to get back to when Madeline goes to the doctor at the beginning, and she's like, that little sexy nurse Anna. That's actually China from Waxworks.
Oh shit!
Like yeah. 'Cause I was like, is that Winona Ryder? Because I wouldn't put it past this movie having Winona Ryder in it for 2 minutes. But then I looked her up on IMDb, and it's China from Waxwork, and all I could think was, the sauce makes the dish.
Oh, God. That's another one of his lines all the time, by the way.
They know.
Oh.
That scene establishes Madeline's fear of her own aging. I think.
Wait. How often in real life do you say the sauce makes the dish?
Whenever Megan makes a sauce with a dish with a sauce. I'm not even kidding. I don't insufferable.
I love you, Scott. You sound like the most annoying human being to be around in real life, and it's fantastic. So Ernest is also a super alcoholic because he's married to a bitch, and Helen is now a famous writer.
Oh man, Ernest is the stupidest kind of alcoholic too. Like where he just like falls out of a chair and passes out on the ground. But it's awesome because he's rich. So like he just gets like people just enable him all over the place. Oh my God, I want to live this life.
I was going to say, this is Adam's dream. If this podcast got big enough that it made us rich, he would be that type of alcoholic.
You're fucking right, I would.
Your maid would bring you alcohol first thing in the morning. You'd be like, "Hello, beautiful. I'm talking to the drink."
More vodka.
So,
Hey. One thing. Megan pointed out that this was originally supposed to be a sequel to something.
was it?
Oh, yeah,
Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt, yeah. It was supposed to be a follow-up to Tales from the Crypt.
And I'm surprised you didn't know that, Matt. Like,
No, I mean, that
you have
makes-
the biggest boner for.
That being said, it makes sense because
It makes
Zemeckis
complete sense, yeah.
was one of the people who co-created Tales from the Crypt and everything. I know
Oh,
there's
geez, guys, I'm so sorry that I didn't look at the IMDb trivia for this movie.
Is that well? I'm looking at it right now, but
It's usually Matt's job.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, but I did see that there's a bunch of like random stupid references to Back to the Future just smashed all over this movie. But
Hey, can we remake this movie with John Hamm as Medville?
Yeah.
As Helen, January Jones as Madeline.
The answer is yes. Yes, we can.
John Hamm and everything.
John Hamm could play all three roles. To be honest, I'd watch John Hamm in drag playing Helen.
I would
John
love
Hamm
to
and
see
drag, done.
Yes. Oh my God, can't even imagine.
So Madeline goes to this weird secret society, and like this is where the movie kind of gets like, it's weird because this whole film takes place pretty much over one night, but it feels like it should be taking place over like a series of days, if that makes sense. Like,
Well, it's just funny because when you think about it in that context, they fuck up their immortal bodies in like 12 hours.
yeah. Well, Madeline does. Helen,
Yeah,
had her immortal body for a while.
they get the potion and then immediately make huge mistakes on the potion.
This
Yeah.
is why you never bring a drunk into your murder pack.
Well, Liesl doesn't really explain. She just says, be careful. She doesn't say you can break your spine and have a giant hole through your stomach and still be alive.
Well, those would be
Right.
weirdly specific things to avoid.
It would be perfect
Please don't
for this
get
movie,
shot.
though. Yeah, like that would be really funny if she was like, "Don't do this and this," and then they immediately do that and that.
Well, that was a good line where she's like, "Now a warning," and
Now?
now a warning. That was a pretty good fucking line. I like that.
But yeah, so
so,
while she's drinking the potion, simultaneously Helen shows up with Ernest to try to to plot out the killing of Madeline, so they can run off together. Which
Yeah.
So here's a quick question. I'm actually curious because they don't really establish this in the movie. Do you guys think that Helen's intention was ever to stay with Ernest, or just to use Ernest as a tool to kill Madeline?
I don't know.
Probably just to kill Madeline. That's the whole point.
Yeah, they're both
Yeah.
pretty
It
inside.
was never your fault. It was her. She stole you. She's like weirdly obsessed. She just got out of a mental institution.
Yeah, she's not obsessed with Ernest. She's obsessed with Madeline.
Yeah, Ernest was just like not even on the radar. That was
Yeah.
just a tool.
The straw that
Ernest
broke
was just
the camel's back,
her
basically.
tool of revenge, like to get
Yes.
to Madeline.
All right.
Just using his hot bod. Isabella Rossellini's top is a throwback to Valerie Leone's top in Blood from the Mummy's Tomb. If you, I talked about it like a couple months ago.
Like that was a top. It wasn't just like a string.
It's. I can post it in the thread or the podcast group. But yeah, it's a straight homage. It's great.
So can we talk about the plan that Helen has pieced together for this? Because it does have another one of the best lines in it. So their plan is that they're going to basically give her a I forget what she refers to it as, but it's basically going to knock Madeline the fuck out as soon as she drinks it, and they're going to
as you know, it's an alcohol-based
poison.
Yeah. As you know, I mean, obviously everybody knows this.
Smell, but do not touch. So
I bet my life on it.
So they put this on the glass. The plan would be that she drinks from this glass, passes out. They put her in a car, fill the car with like way too many bottles of alcohol.
A baby pool full of vodka.
So,
totally believable.
And just fire her off this cliff on Mulholland Drive and like call in like there's someone driving erratically, and then they're like, oh, she was drunk driving.
Driving off of Mulholland.
Can we point out how awful of a plan that is? That is the worst fucking plan ever.
I didn't mean to steal your thunder, but the best part of that plan is that they finish dinner while she's passed out.
Yeah.
Oh yes, let's finish dinner first.
When Bruce Willis pushes her down the stairs, I'm like, yeah, that was way better. That was a way better plan than what you had going on originally.
That's a great stunt woman.
A real crazy fall.
Yeah, that shot where she just lands on her head and you see it twist is like super unsettling.
And like her legs are all fucked up, and it's pretty realistic.
Yeah, but I was gonna say the line that I love in that fantasy scene where they're planning out everything is the coroner lifting up the charred hand and just goes, "She had it coming." As he like.
And watching this, I mean, we're thinking about this after knowing that this was supposed to be a sequel to Tales from the Crypt. It makes so much sense, especially in that scene. And the end scene are both super Tales from the Crypt.
This is a better Tales from the Crypt movie than Demon Knight was. It feels more Tales from... Yeah. It feels way more like Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, you know what? You're actually right. Like, this was so much better than Demon... Like, it didn't have Billy Zane in it. Like, if it had Billy Zane in it, I would have loved this movie so much. It would have been so good.
But I just mean, like, in general, like that fantasy... The way that fantasy scene was done was so close to, like, another Tales from the Crypt movie when, like, they're doing the meteor shit scene from Creepshow with Stephen King. And it's, like, all of his weird fantasy scenes are just shot slightly differently, and, like, all of the acting is crazy over the top and ridiculous, and, like...
Billy Zane could have been the spa owner.
Oh my god! It would have been good! It would have been so much better.
But yeah, so they so Ernest, as Adam has alluded, Ernest, I get them confused because they're both alcoholics. Ernest pushes Madeline down the stairs.
Oh, that was actually the best burn ever. That was really good.
Ernest pushes Madeline down the stairs.
Matt's been working up to that one for a long time.
And he calls Helen to find out what he should do. And as he's doing so, Madeline gets up and walks over to him, demanding that he fixes her. Because we haven't really talked about this, but Ernest used to be a really great plastic surgeon, and now he just touches up dead bodies for a living.
So, did that part scare you as a kid, Matt? Because that part is still terrifying to me as an adult. Her walking, like, flopping all over the place, limbs everywhere.
I'm sure it did, but like I said, the scenes that I distinctly remember were definitely the hole in the chest, the charred hand, and the spinning heads at the end.
He did Who Framed Roger Rabbit, right?
Yeah.
Because that is so Who Framed Roger Rabbit when...
Oh my god.
When
the evil guy like
steamrolled.
Gets steamrolled and then pops up and like, whoa, walks down the...
I've talked about this before. That scene, pretty much the last 5 minutes of Roger Rabbit was, to me, the scariest thing ever put on film as a child. Like
terrifying.
That and Large Marge. Oh my god, they fucked my childhood so bad.
I couldn't watch that.
I was never was affected by Large Marge because I was like, oh, that looks like clay. Like I could logically understand that was clay, but something with the when I killed your brother, I talked like this, and his eyeballs fire out. I was like, No.
What are you out of your fucking mind? Like, this CG was the worst CG I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. It was awful.
Yeah, but you're watching it as an adult. You have to be
You really
6.
pick that out as a kid, Adam?
But he probably watched this as a teenager, you fucking yuts.
But you're supposed to believe it's like Cartoon Land. You're supposed to be completely immersed in it.
Can I tell you guys that you're a bunch of puss?
That's fine.
Puss.
So Ernest uses his surgery skills to make Madeline look better, just as Helen shows up. I'm going to skip the whole scene in the hospital because it's a pretty useless scene. We just established that Madeline is definitely 100% dead. So Madeline overhears that they originally planned to kill her, and that's when she shoots Helen point blank with a shotgun. Helen also rises, totally fine except for a giant gun wound in her chest. And that's when they realize that they both drank the exact same potion. They request that Ernest fix the damages, and then they'll leave him alone forever. But then they decide that, they're going to probably need him for all eternity in case this shit ever happens again. And that's when they kidnap him and try to force him to drink the potion, but he refuses. And, Bruce Willis has, 2 or 3 speeches in this movie about, taking back his life and all this other stuff where it's like, wow, this is some of the best acting Bruce Willis has ever put on screen.
It actually is. For some reason, I don't know why he was so excited about this movie, because, this is a forgotten movie. People don't talk about this fucking movie. But Bruce Willis was fucking in, man. He was 100% in. He gave it his fucking all for this movie. And I love him in this movie. He's so fucking good.
Love him. He's supposed to have had a different ending. It's supposed to end a little differently for him. I read the original script, and he is supposed to run away with a bartender who was played by Tracy Ullman, who got completely cut out of the movie. He was supposed to meet her the first night that they meet up with Helen again when she looks amazing. And so he meets her then, and then they meet each other a couple times throughout the movie, and then he takes James Dean's car in that scene at Ilsa's house or whatever, and drives off straight to the bar to Tracy Ullman, and then they run away together. Yeah. And that's how the movie was supposed to end. And I guess test audiences said it was too sappy of an ending, and they wanted the dark comedy ending.
Yeah, well, and I think, so let's talk about all the crazy people that are at this party, including, I think this is the second movie that we've watched with an Elvis impersonator in it. But it's...
only the second movie?
Yeah, you'd think that there'd be more. This movie's just, it's fun. It's just a fun movie. But I was going to say, for a movie that is, super fun, it has this weird, you shouldn't feel as emotionally invested as I did when Bruce Willis's character is just you know what? I don't need this anymore. And he just, pours out the drink, and you're like, yeah! You get,
I drink too much.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. But also, at the time that we're recording this, not at the time we're releasing it, Scream Factory actually is releasing on Tuesday. They're releasing a collector's edition Blu-ray of Death Becomes Her with a brand new making of, featuring the writers and the cast and everybody. So that's kind of exciting. No commentary track, though, which I would have loved a commentary track for this movie.
Oh.
So the movie ends with Ernest's funeral, and they talk about how he lived this adventurous life and that he lived an important life. Meanwhile, Helen and Madeline are in the back, slowly decaying but cackling in the back of the church. The only thing that would have made this movie funnier would have been if during the whole, eulogy, the pastor says something along the lines of, and while Ernest did a lot, he certainly confused people with his abnormally youthful left hand.
I was thinking that the whole time I was like, if they walked out of this place right now, would they just have a super young hand? What's going on there?
Because he lived to be what was it? He lived to be 80 or 90 or something like that, and yeah.
Oh man, he said that life started at 50, and then it was 37 years after the fact.
Yeah. So he was old as shit. That's fantastic. That I don't know. And then the two of them are they are super dead at this point, but can never truly die. So they're just literally decaying and trying to paint on whatever they can use as flesh. And then
that's the joke, right? When they fall apart, it sounds like just paint because they've just painted their bodies so many times. They're just little paint shells.
Yeah, and then, I don't know. I feel like there's a better line to end on than do you remember where you parked the car?
Where you parked the car.
Like, I don't know what that line should be.
Bother me a little bit.
That line actually did bug me a lot. Yeah, it like there's so many. I could write better lines for that ending right now. I mean, like we could do that this very minute.
You think like it's just this monotonous, horrible life with the two of them who hate each other, and think about if I'm annoyed with Scott. Do you remember where you parked that car? Like, it's just, they're stuck together forever.
That's why you asked me that question.
Oh, shut up.
You know what?
I was actually about to make a joke. I was like, is that what it's like living with Scott?
I was gonna say, what would have been a better line is if that head stopped spinning and then, Goldie Hawn looked over at Madeline and was just like, hey, do you read Kurt Vonnegut? Every time I watch this movie, all I can think of is how emotionally scarring it is going to be when the rest of that church lets out. And there's just body parts scattered on the floor. Like, there's no way that they're going to put themselves back together and get out of there before everyone else leaves.
So practical, Matt. So practical.
I always worry about...
What bothers me about all Tales from the Crypt movies is, like, the endings are always like this haha, but the logical after scene, or like what would happen after the
follow through,
is just ludicrous. I can't handle it.
But all in all, love this movie. Glad I own this movie. Sad Scream Factory didn't send me the Blu-ray.
Yeah, long story short, this is a good fucking movie, and people should actually watch it because it's fucking funny. It actually is like a fucking good movie, which we don't do often on this podcast.
That's Adam setting us up for next week, which is going to be a killer feature.
Yes, let's not talk about that.
So
I want to now.
So I know that that Megan has some stuff to do because she's a better person than the three of us. So she's going to go.
You guys don't volunteer early on Saturday mornings?
No, although But anyway, so Megan, thank you for joining us. We'll do our last little segment of what did we watch this week. But you go and do that charitable shit. Oh.
You don't want to hear that I watched like 10 episodes of Mad Men this week?
We watched 10 episodes of Mad Men because I sat with her, and then every night I had Mad Men nightmares where I was a drunk who cheated on her. It's terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, would you be John Hamm in those dreams? Because there's nothing wrong with that. That's not nightmarish if you're John Hamm.
Actually, it is.
If you're John Draper. Not if you're John Hamm. Yeah.
I would love to be John Hamm. I would hate to be John Draper.
Yeah, well, John Hamm doesn't have the best life in that show.
I never watched it, so I don't know.
Oh, you need to watch it. It's like a good book. All right, thanks, guys.
Later.
Bye, Megan.
So,
Bye.
Probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I forgot to mention this, was the day that is internationally known as Rex Manning Day. So I rewatched Empire Records as I do every year, and that movie's still fantastic. It's all I can say about it. It's just a good fucking movie. Yeah, that's it. I got nothing. I'm gonna save my other big one for next week because it ties in with next week's movie a little bit better. So Scott or Adam, what did you guys watch this week?
I finally watched The Nest.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
It's really... Wait, what?
It's a fun movie.
That's not the word I'd use. I was pretty bored, actually. Well, I mean, it's no slugs, all right? It's no ticks, for sure.
Oh, nothing's ticks.
Yeah, so it was mediocre, and the end scene with the super mutated cockroach human hybrid, in context, out of context, it's sweet because you watch the clip on YouTube or whatever in those gore compilations, and you're like, "Damn, this movie looks sick!" And then you watch it in real life, and you're like, "Eh." You kind of like.
Wait, is this movie a direct reference to ticks? Is that what?
No, it's before ticks. I think it's 87 or something.
It's way before 87 or 88.
Wait, was the guy that directed ticks a total fucking hack? Are we talking?
No, it wasn't Sam Raimi. It wasn't Sam Raimi.
It took place in a cabin. He's a total fucking hack.
I love our logic of why Sam Raimi is a hack.
It's all a good fun. Sam Raimi, if you're listening, dear God, I hope he's listening. That we love you.
Like, you're afraid that Sam Raimi stumbled upon this podcast, heard that, was like, well, fuck you guys. I'm never going to hang out with you if I meet you.
Yes, actually.
No, Sam, hang out with me. I really want you to hang out with me. Please hang
You
out.
those guys to that podcast that shits on my movies all the time?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now, Sam. I have no clue.
Look, they've got a ton of listeners. Like, literally, like 200 to 300 people listen. There are millions of people in the world, Sam. Millions.
Millions.
All right, so how about you?
I guess I have to talk about the cartoons that I watched this week because I watched a lot of cartoons.
We need to stop asking what to watch because it's just fucking cartoons.
Hey, you know what? Never mind. That's it.
Here. Hey, this is my Adam impression. Hey, so for this week, that's a burp. And then I watched Venture Brothers, Adventure Time, and Rick and Morty reruns. That's what I watched this week.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm good. Don't worry about it.
I can only imagine what your microphone smells like after getting belched on like every Saturday morning.
It would make you barf. It would 100% make you barf.
That was Death Becomes Her from 1992, as picked by Adam. We had a special guest, Megan, here. So thank you, Megan, for dealing with us. And, Scott, sorry that we did everything in our power to make you look and sound like an asshole during the time that she was on the show. But, if
I do a good enough job every day.
I was going to say,
don't worry. She knows.
If Adam and I ever were able to trick any woman into being on this podcast with us, I'm sure you would do the same to us. So it's all good. Send us some emails at hmnpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what movies you think we should be watching. And while you're at it, hop on iTunes. Give us a rate and review. And
give us fucking ratings and reviews, you assholes. What are you've been so lacking in that.
Yeah, well, you do a lot for us, but it's the one thing you don't do for us, and it's sad. But help us out. It'd be great. Thank you for listening. We're going to watch a real piece of shit picked by one of you guys next week. So thanks in advance.
Sound check on Megan.
It's coming. Hold on. She had to get her bagel.
Are you fucking kidding me? I'm already tired of her shit.
She has to complete the cycle of each one of us eating during an episode.
All right.
Does she know that even if she puts a piece of candy in her mouth, we're gonna call her out?
Or in the case of Don, if you put a shotgun in your mouth.
Holy shit. That was a good one.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.